What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the top 5 mistakes Doomfist players make in Stadium. I believe that if players fix the 5 things that I'm about to list today, they'll have a much easier time climbing and winning games as Doomfist. I've been playing Doomfist for about 6 months now, ever since he was released, and I found myself making these mistakes, and as soon as I tweaked them and fixed them and did better in these areas, I instantly started climbing and moving faster up the ranks all the way up to top 500. And if I played enough games, I'd probably be in the top 20, top 10, top 5. And I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time with this video. I want it to be short but very informative. So without further ado, let's get into the first mistake that Doomfist players are making. So as of right now, I believe the community is relatively split when it comes to what perspective they prefer to use or what perspective they believe is necessary to use. Anyone who watches my channel knows that I switch between first and third person depending on the build that I'm using. And that is what I believe is the best case for this argument. It's very important for you to be able to play in first and third person. A very popular opinion right now is that third person is strange, is weird, and people don't want to play it. People don't want to be in third person because it's different. It's hard to get used to. It's out of the ordinary. When in reality, third person comes with its own benefits, just like first person. So with third person, you get obviously a bigger field of view. You can see more of what's going on. That directly correlates to how you can set up plays and what your next move is going to be. You can see your escape route. You can do all of that. You can keep track of the enemy easier in third person, obviously depending on the map and the build and everything that you're doing. First person gives you the advantage of precision and familiarity. You're used to playing Doomfist in first person. That's what everybody's been doing for years. And it's easier to aim and hit your shots in first person because you don't have to look through Doomfist or imagine where the enemy is at because Doomfist is blocking your crosshair. So I understand that first person is very good, but I also understand that third person is very useful. And I think us as Doomfist players need to get out of this mindset of third person is so weird, it's so different and so strange, I'm never going to use it. Because you're only going to become a better Doomfist if you know how to swap between the two. Because each one has their own benefits. And if you can use both, then you don't ever have to worry about being at a disadvantage. For a long time, I was locked in third person. I only wanted to play in third person because it was different, it was fun, it was exciting, I liked it. But then after a while, I switched to first person and I'm like, okay, well, this is still good, and I can see the advantages of doing this. Because a lot of people in my comments are talking about, bro, how are you playing in third person? How are you doing it? What is going on? Isn't that weird? How are you doing? And I'm like, I mean, it was weird at first, but after I've been playing in third person for 6 months straight almost, I got used to it. So I'm not saying that you need to play third person Doomfist for 6 months straight. I'm saying that you should at least play enough games with third person Doomfist so that you can get a full understanding of what it is like and what it feels like. And so if you ever need to switch to third person, you can do so comfortably so that you can win the game. And that's what this is all about. We want to fix these mistakes so that you can win more games and climb in ranked. And the mistake here is locking yourself into one perspective. There's no reason for you to do that. We have the wonderful ability to choose. So you want to make sure that you're efficient in both. If you've been playing first person Doomfist, you already got that down. If you are playing Stadium and you want a different experience, switch to third person and try something new. I promise you it will help you in the long run. I'm not saying that you have to switch and go play in third person now. I'm just saying everybody should be a little more open to it. Even if it looks strange, even if you're not really feeling it in the beginning, give it some time. Because playing in third person is very useful, and so is first person. But for me, the factors that it depends on is what build I'm using, how I'm feeling that day, and the comp that I'm going against. Because I've been preaching Asteroid Smash is way easier to use in third person. It looks a little wonky in first person. It's to me it's strange in first person, but in third person it's so much more fluid and it looks better, it feels better. So depending on the build that you're using, you might want to switch between them. Especially, so look, I always say I like doing machine gun build in first person because it's a very heavy aim related build. All right, I'm aiming for the head with my shots. So I need to be in first person for the precision. But in third person, if I'm using Asteroid Smash, trying to give them anti-air build, I need to see what is going on all around me. I need to see what's all the way up in the air, what's in front of me, what's to my left, what's to my right. It's a lot easier to do that in third person. It's beneficial to be efficient at both so that way you can switch when you need to without issue. That's the main thing. So do not lock yourself into one perspective. Keep an open mind and try a third person if you haven't already. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one took me a little bit to learn, fix, and get used to because Stadium does not help with the DPS Doomfist mindset. Pretty much, Stadium amplifies that mindset. You get so many abilities, you get more power, more things to do, so it makes you feel like you can just run into the back line and kill everything, or run into the whole team and kill everybody. But that is not what Doomfist is supposed to be doing, all right? They moved Doomfist to tank. He's not DPS right now. And when you're playing Stadium and you have your uppercut and you have Ashtray Smash and you have all this stuff, it makes you feel like DPS Doomfist. It makes you feel like a juiced up version of DPS Doomfist. And you want to go in there and do everything on your own. And you leave your team behind and they're getting rolled while you're in there trying to do your own thing. And if you do that, sometimes you might get away with it. Sometimes you might be good enough. Sometimes you might be facing a team that isn't good enough to deal with you. And you can roll them over and not have an issue. But as you move up the ranks and start going against people who actually know what they're doing and they're playing coordinated, you cannot just go in there and forget about your team, fly in the back line, try to get you a pick and your whole team's dead. You cannot do that. You will lose. You will fight hard and get to round 7 and lose in the end because you're not paying attention to your team. You still want to be aggressive and create space and get kills, but you don't want to neglect your team. You want to be able to peel for them if your healers need help, if your DPS need help in a given situation. You want to have the ability to go back and help them. So don't forget about your team who is behind you because you are the tank. Remember, and this is 5v5. This 5v5, even though everybody can build into whatever they can, you know, survival or whatever, they still need your help because you are the tank. You are the initiator. You're supposed to be able to help the team and also do your own work. All right, this is 5v5. You know what the expectations are. If you've ever played regular 5v5, you know everybody wants the tank to do everything. Now, doing everything is a little bit easier in Stadium because you have more abilities. But you still have to hold your own and help the team at the same time. And also, if you do help your team and peel for them, it'll just be easier on you because you exert so much more energy and you have to try so much harder to do all the work on your own. But if you help your team, it'll take the load off a little bit so that you can create better plays and get more kills at once rather than going back in the back line, diving one, killing one, gotta go and try to find somebody else and they're in the back line running your team out. I'm telling you, I have PTSD from this. I have had so many situations where I'm like, okay, I'm running this team right now. I got 3 kills. I'm fighting hard. I turn around, team's dead. And then I'm in there by myself and the enemies who were back there killing my team come and find me and then it's over. Overwatch is a team game. I understand that Stadium makes you feel like a superhero. Doomfist feels like you can do anything. But you don't want to forget your team. And one thing that helped me anchor that in my mind is Block Party. Block Party is actually really, really good. Block Party is really good. If you are struggling yourself, it's good for your own self-survival, but it also helps your team. And I think Doom has a few other healing powers and items and whatnot, I think with Meteor Strike and stuff. But with Block Party, it's amazing because you're blocking all the time. As soon as I started using Block Party, I started helping my team more and I started winning games more. I swapped out Jet Force Jab for Block Party in a lot of my builds, and it seems to be helping a lot in the long run. Like, Jet Force Jab is a very offensive, brute force type of power. That's if you just want to go in there and do it on your own, which you can. But Block Party, I think, is a little bit more useful in the team sense because it's benefiting everybody. Just keep that in mind. Don't forget about your team. Create space. Get picks and kills if you can. And just play as a team. Play as a team. I know on modes like Payload Race, it's a little bit harder to do that, because you got to go over there and stop them from pushing, and you also have to make sure your healers and supports are cool on point. That'll give you an easier time winning rounds overall instead of you trying to do everything on your own and play DPS. That's all I'm saying. That one's pretty simple, but it can be overlooked very, very easily. I struggle with it a lot, and people in the comments had to tell me, hey, here's the issue that you have. You need to fix that, and then once you fix it, it'll be easier. I promise you guys. I promise you. Anybody who's out there and you're losing, struggling to climb, brother, maybe you just need to play a little bit more team-oriented, and you'll have an easier time. Okay, moving on to the next one. Due to the fact that I make a lot of build videos, and the fact that I understand how much build potential Doomfist has, I know for a fact that depending on the comp that you're going against, some builds are not going to work. Some of these builds are not going to work for the comp that you're going against. It doesn't mean that the build is bad. It just means that it's not going to work for what you're going against. And trying to force a particular build because you think that it's really useful and you think that it should work in this situation is going to cause you to lose rounds and lose games, man. You have to be able to adapt and tweak your build, whatever it is that you're doing, or make a build on the fly, whatever, so that you can win against the team that you're going against. For example, if you have a bunch of ground heroes plus mercy, so you've got 4 ground heroes and then you have a flying mercy, and you want to use machine gun build because you think it's fun and it's very useful. Can you get away with it? Probably. But if mercy is being annoying and she is pretty much carrying their team because she's flying around 3,000 miles per second, can't hit her, can't stop her, nobody can do anything on your team, do not try to force machine gun build. You need to pivot and switch to some type of anti-air to help with mercy. You can shoehorn in Asteroid Smash into machine gun build if you want. But that's what I mean. If you have a build, I know a lot of you guys look at YouTube builds and you get the build codes and you try it. If you use somebody's build and it's not working in the moment that you're using it, then you either need to tweak it or switch to a different build in the game. There is nothing stopping you from switching up your approach, especially if you see what the enemy team is building into. Do not be like, okay, I'm just going to stick with this build because I put all my money into this. I put my powers into this. We just got to stick to it. No, you got to tweak it. A lot of the powers are interchangeable, so there's not really a power that you're going to get where you're like, oh man, I can't use this now because I need to switch up the build. They're all pretty useful. But if you can just swap out one thing for another, let's say, for example, you're getting rolled and you need some survivability, but you want to do an offensive brute force build. Just take one item out, sacrifice a little bit of ability power, and switch it out for some survivability. That small difference can mean winning or losing the game. And with Stadium, you can literally win in the end. You can be struggling all through, win, lose, lose 3, win 3. It's a whole, Stadium is really a gamble. You just got to lock in and fight hard. It has a lot of longevity. Making the right choices with your builds and the items and powers you decide to use is what is going to make the difference between winning and losing these games. Not only should you have multiple builds so that you can switch, it's much easier to switch your build up if you already have multiple saved builds. I will always preach that. And if you guys watch my channel, you already have 2 builds that you should have saved. Anti-air build and machine gun build. Any of those other builds, survival build, anything else, you have that for this very reason. In Stadium, you will find yourself maybe running things over in the first 2-3 rounds, and then the enemy team scales up and you got to switch. You got to figure out something new to win the game. That is the reality of Stadium. So you do not want to force a particular build if it's not working, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, well, we already know what that is. And sometimes you're just going to get rolled. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Some of them games you're just going to lose. You can't win them all. But if you want to increase your chances of winning, do not lock yourself into one particular build for the entire game, because it ain't gonna work. One of my videos I did most recently, I was talking about this is how you abuse Asteroid Smash. In the full game that I posted at the end, I'm like, all right guys, I'm about to go into machine gun build. And then the second round, I'm like, I need to go into anti-air build because this isn't gonna work. I could tell off the first round, and sometimes you might be able to do that. You can look at a team and look at the first round you lose, you're like, yeah, this build is not gonna work. Let me switch it up and this is what's gonna work. I literally switched after the first round and rolled everything over after that. So keep that in mind. If you are struggling with a particular build, make sure to switch it and try something different if you want to win, because you're not going to win trying to force something. I promise you. You go on YouTube, you look at these builds, you're like, oh my God, I see this person using it. It's going to work automatically like that for me. No, it might not. It depends on the comp and everything. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I feel like that's another one. All of these that I'm listing are pretty big mistakes, but man, they all, now that I'm talking about it, they just seem so important because I was dealing with all of these in the moment that I fixed them. Top 500. I'm telling you, you fix these things, top 500. It's not that hard. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one is a little bit more specific. Cooldown management is very, very, very important, especially for my new Doomfist players out there. If you haven't even played Doomfist that much and you go in the stadium and you're trying to learn how to play Doomfist and you want to use my anti-air build, brother, it's going to be a lot at the beginning because you have 6 abilities that you can use. And you might like gadgets. That's a 7th. That is a 7th ability. Okay. So you have a lot to be using at a time. And every single one of these different items or abilities are on a different cooldown. So you have to be able to understand what you have in your arsenal before you go in there and start fighting. And then you have to know what you have during the fight and after the fight. Cooldown management is going to be your best friend, because until you learn how to manage your cooldowns properly, you're going to struggle, because you're going to fly in there with no way out, use all your abilities, not get a kill because it's stadium and it's hard to kill things after the third round, and then you're going to be stranded, and then that's what's going to cause you to feed. All right, you don't want to be a feeding Doomfist. Okay, you want to be a strategic fighter with Doomfist, especially with all these abilities that you have. You have Meteor Strike, Rising Uppercut, Block, Punch, Slam, Asteroid Smash, Primary Fire, all of this stuff that you have to keep track of. Doomfist mechanically is already a complicated character. You add all these cooldowns on top of it, you got a lot on your plate. So to be effective with these builds, to be effective with Doomfist as the character, you need to be able to manage what you got. My advice is go into the practice range, figure out your cooldowns. Obviously, when you're playing Stadium and you're going into your build, you're going to have cooldown reduction. If you are using any type of extra abilities, you need cooldown reduction. So that'll just help you get your abilities back faster so you don't have to worry as much about the management. Go into the practice range, see what the timing is of all the cooldowns, and start practicing combos. Because here's the thing, as long as you keep at least one, maybe two escape abilities, you're usually fine. Anybody who watches my videos knows that I usually engage with my punch or slam, typically, and then I use my Asteroid Smash or Rising Uppercut, something like that. By the time you get done using these abilities, you usually either have your punch back or your slam. Sometimes it's hard to manage that. I even still struggle with this from time to time, depending on the day. If you go in there expecting to get a kill, you use your entire kit and still don't get a kill, it's just over. You're in the back line with nothing, naked. And you don't want that. So my advice is to keep an eye on your cooldowns. Like if you go in there, you already know what combo you're going to use. Still take a quick glance while you're floating in midair. Let's say you use your slam to get in there. You're up in the air. You're about to use Asteroid Smash to slam down. As soon as you hit Alt or Control or whatever button it is to use Asteroid Smash, take a quick glance at your abilities to see what you have left to not only set up your next play, your next combo, but set up your escape route. I see a lot of Doomfist that just fly in there and use all their abilities. They don't have nothing, and now they're just easy pickings. Okay? People love that. And I'm not even talking about what you have to go against. Like, if you're going against Ana, Sigma, E, any of these characters that can stun you, that makes it even worse. Managing your cooldowns is extremely important. Do not make the mistake of not knowing how long your cooldowns are and then running in there and dying, because that's not going to help you. Okay, especially if you're coupling this mistake with neglecting your team. Let's say you're flying in there and using everything, and then your team's getting rolled. It would be different if you're going in there using everything and getting a couple kills. Bro, if you're going in there and using all of your stuff and not doing anything at all, and then your team's getting rolled, and then you get rolled, it's over. So you don't want that to happen. So keep an eye on your cooldowns. Learn how to use them effectively. Cooldown management, keep that in mind. You'll be a better Doomfist once you learn how to manage your cooldowns. All right, moving on to the next one. Now, I know I was talking about how the other ones were very important, and they are, but this one is the absolute most important. We need to humble ourselves here, okay? This is Stadium. Stadium was never meant to be hyper competitive. Stadium was meant to be a fun, exciting, different game mode that gave players a chance to express themselves with their character and all of these different abilities that they have. This game mode is more of an arcade game mode than any other game mode that we've seen. All right, it's really similar, I think, to like Total Mayhem, and I really enjoyed Total Mayhem when it was in the game. I think they still have it every now and then. As you're playing quick play or competitive, whatever, there's barely a difference because there's no like real ranking separation anymore. They got rid of that because they know that it's supposed to be casual. So don't get so invested. Don't take the game so seriously to the point where you're getting upset or, you know, you're playing worse because you're frustrated or anything like that. It's Stadium. You're supposed to be in there having fun. I did not climb up to top 500 because I'm like, oh, I'm better than everybody else. I'm the best Doomfist on the planet. I'm about to roll everybody out. I'm top 500. No, No, I got to top 500 because I was having fun and I was naturally progressing because I was enjoying myself. I love Doomfist, the character, so much that it doesn't matter if I'm winning or losing. The fact that I get to play the character and do all the things that he can do in Stadium, that brings me joy. And I'm having a great time. If you're having fun, you're going to be way more successful. You're going to win way more games because your head's going to be clear. You're going to be able to think. How are you going to be able to manage your cooldowns when you're sitting there angry, complaining the whole time? Talk about, oh, I can't do anything. Their team's rolling me over. I'm so upset. I can't win. I'm losing. Bro, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But at the end of the day, this is Stadium. You're supposed to be having a great time and enjoying yourself, rolling the team over if you can. And if you can't, you learn from it and you move on to the next one. You don't even lose anything for losing up until like All-Star, I think. So I just believe that so many Doomfist players take this Stadium stuff way too seriously, and they're like trying to be more competitive than they should with it, when in reality you're supposed to be having fun, making some good plays, you know what I mean, hitting them with some sauce every now and then and see what happens. But this is not like regular comp where you're like, oh my god, I need to win this game because I'm trying to get to Masters, I'm trying to get to GM. Brother, brother, it is not that serious. You need to be prioritizing fun over anything else. Anything else that I just said. Obviously, the things that I mentioned are the things you should be keeping in mind if you want to get better at Stadium Doomfist. But if you just want to get in there and have a good time, bro, then do that. Look at your favorite builds on YouTube, get in there and try to use it and see what happens. If you want to tweak it a little bit, tweak it a little bit. But the goal of Stadium is to have a good time. So that is what your main focus should be. I think that there's a handful of people, not even just Doomfist players, but just a handful of people who are taking Stadium way too seriously. And it's really not like that. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. And I understand that. I just love playing Doomfist in Stadium because of everything that he can do. But I don't wear, oh, I'm top 500 Doomfist on my shoulders in Stadium, because it doesn't really matter. Like, the rank is cool, but it's not super difficult to get into Stadium because, number one, there's not that many people playing it. And number two, it's not that hard to climb because you don't lose much. So remember to have fun, guys. It's all about fun. It's all about the excitement and the enjoyment of playing the character. And I think that everybody should focus on that and keep that in mind. Because the second you start having a good time and enjoying yourself, the better you're going to play. These mistakes, whether they're general, specific, or whatever, there's something that you should keep in mind if you are going to one-trick Doomfist in Stadium, or if you just want to get better with Doomfist. Those are just 5 things that I felt were important, because once I started paying attention to those things and fixing those things, I saw improvement. So if I can improve, then you guys can improve. And even if you aren't a new Doomfist player and you've been playing Stadium Doomfist and you're on my level and you already know what's going on, I still think that you can benefit from the last one, because, you know what I mean, egos and everything can get in the way if you play enough games. Like, if you play a bunch of Stadium all the time, you put hours and hours and hours into Stadium, eventually you might get a little ego on you and be like, man, I'm crazy with Doomfist. These guys aren't doing shit. My team's ass and all that shit. Don't be toxic, bro. Don't be toxic. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, especially in Stadium. Like, it's not worth it in general, but bro, you're playing Stadium. It's supposed to be fun. All you got to do is play with your team. Don't neglect them. Switch builds if you need to. Don't try to force a build. Learn how to play in third person if you're against it. Be more open-minded to playing in third person so that you can have both. And then make sure you manage your cooldowns. Know what you have so that you don't run in there and die for it. And then make sure to have fun. That's all. That's all. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. If you really want to get to top 500, pick you out 2 or 3 builds, practice and play a bunch of games, and then lock in once you get to All-Star, and you'll get to top 500. It's really, really not that hard. I promise. So as soon as you fix these things that I mentioned in this video today, you will find more success than you've been having. Even if you've been winning all your games and rolling everything out, watch what happens when you think about these things. You'll do even better, I promise you. So yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. Hopefully somebody out there could benefit from this video. I know this is very different from what I normally do. I normally just, you know, have gameplay and then I do my talking at the beginning or end of the video. But I wanted to just have this video for y'all who need help with Doom and you're trying to figure out what you could be doing better to win games. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know, of me just talking and sharing my opinions about what you should be doing to get better. Because, I mean, I have a lot I can say because I've been playing Stadium Doomfist for 6 months straight, mainly focusing on Stadium. Like, I've been switching to quick play, 6v6 and stuff from here and there just to have fun with my friends, but mainly I've been playing Stadium, grinding Stadium, and it's been so much fun. So I have a lot of knowledge and experience I can share with y'all if you're interested. But for today, I just wanted to get on here and spread the knowledge and hope to help a few of you guys who needed some assistance in trying to get better with Doom. So let me know what you thought about this video down in the comment section. I was a little bit hesitant to make it because I'm like, dang, I don't know if you guys are going to enjoy it as much. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. But yeah, let me know what you thought down in the comments, if this helped you or not, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future. But until then, I've got more videos on the way for y'all. I'm gonna keep bringing you guys the gameplay. I'm just trying to mix it up. If you have any video ideas, please let me know down in the comments, because I don't want you guys to get bored or anything. I would love to continue, and I want to branch out and do different things. I know I'm Poppy Doomfist, but I do like to play not only other characters, but other games as well. So we'll do some more talking about that in the comments, and I'll do some community posts to see. But I wanted to test the water with a video like this to see if you guys enjoyed it. So let me know, and I will just see you guys in the next video that I make. Thank you so much for watching, guys.